as everyone does.
I mean, the percentages, the law of averages here suggests that it was you. So
Listen, I always find a way.
But I admit it like a man.
I always find a way to fix my. Look at yesterday. I messed up that entire part of the white wall. Easy cleanup. Didn't even need to repaint it.
That's because I suggested using water and maybe soap instead of having to repaint it. Because
but guess what? I'm the one who did it. And it worked.
You should have done it. You're the one who splattered paint everywhere.
You got paint other places, and first of all, it was stained. And I think that's why it didn't settle in. It's because it was a liquidy, a very wet stain, and it was splattered on a wall.
That was my nickname in college. Liquidy wet stain.
Liquidy wet stain.
Thanks a lot, Embry Riddle.
You and Wet Cat were.
And Wet Cat, yeah, we were running wild.
There was like a whole moist house.
It was a real moist in campus.
A real sopping wet group of guys.
It sure was.
All right, do your intro here, bud.
Are we on?
Yeah,
Are we still recorded?
Yeah.
All right, jabronis, we're back. I'm here in Site Bravo again, as you can tell by the way better setup that we got going on. We got guitars in the background, drums in the background, albums. As you can see, we got way better tech this go around. These microphones are legit top of the line microphones that Pistol Pete secured or procured, I guess you can say. And you know, I want to dog on Pistol for just pissing money away and buying all this crap. It's only because I'm jealous, because this is what you get to do when you're successful and you have the ability to get nice things. You get nice things. And I'm happy that I'm reaping the benefits of it, but you know,
I'm here too.
Yeah, well, did you buy this stuff?
No,
that's what I thought.
But I'm the lead content man of the house.
Oh yeah, when I'm not here.
Well, no, first of all, for my work.
Well, yeah, you are big on content.
1,500 hours of YouTube videos.
I thought you were gonna say 1,500 views,
no.
And I was like, that's probably, I don't know, quadruple what I get.
No, that's
more than quadruple. I can't do math.
I'm not trying to be mean. That's a bad video for us if it only gets 1,500.
Oh no, I look at your numbers when you post your shit for work, and
we try to be, for like a really good video, we try to be in the 5,000 to 10,000 range. But we have several videos that have 200, 300,000, 400,000.
Yeah, no, I saw some of the big ones.
They're just like basic SEO, like for like just that they have like a very searchable, like top 5 lighters is like our most view. It has like 200,000 views.
Yeah, because people look for nice lighters,
yeah.
And it's an easy kill.
Yeah. But like, what's the best Maduro from Nicaragua? Like, there's 2 people watch, but they're really into it.
It probably has a lot less views.
But the fan base is much more fanatical.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit more. They're into it. Yeah. If you're watching that video,
if you're looking for a deep cut,
if you're searching for a deep cut JR cigar video, like you're in it, then good for you.
Really quick. I don't mean to do a caveat. My fans have been really supportive of my weight loss. Like they comment on the video, man, looking good, Nick. Way to go.
Oh, like the Carmines of
like, oh, look at you go, buddy.
World?
Yeah, they're on board.
Good. I mean, I'm on board. Everybody should be on board. Unfortunately for you
weren't on board.
I only have 6 followers to be on board, so the support is not going to increase greatly by you being on the show today again. But we're trying.
As long as Dom Delapino, makes a special.
Dom, look, I'm not going to tell Dom to go be supportive. I'm going to tell Dom to be Dom. I'm going to ask him to continue being Dom. He's going to check your privilege. He's going to check your weight privilege.
He's going to send me a bunch of salamis.
And he might fire off a couple emails to let me know that you're not doing a satisfactory job in his eyes. And that's, again, that's fine, because that's what he's here for.
That's what we need Dom for.
That's what we need Dom for. He's there to shove that humble pie down our throats. So, thanks, Dom. All right, before we step into the cage, real quick, I don't know if I can stand up or what I got to do, but I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's
pick it up a little bit.
A pretty killer. Can you see it now? I can't. Yeah. I don't have the screen in front of me. When I'm at Site Bravo.
I'll do it.
When I'm at Site Bravo, folks, I don't have control of anything, which is probably better off for you guys, so I can't see what I look like.
Hold the computer down.
Hold
the computer down. No, the bottom part, so I could pull the screen back up.
Hello.
There you go.
Are we on?
Hello.
We're rolling. All right, so I wanted you guys to check out the sweet Ronald Ray guns. tank that I got as it was like a guest tank, like a nice like visiting team gift that Nick that you provided for me. And I'm giving it back. I know it's
I need a nickname, not like my work nickname, like the cigar one. I need like a wet cat something, but not obviously wet cat. I need like a.
I mean, the Brotherhood refers to you as Farva still.
I can't do. Come on, that's not fair. That was from 20 years ago. I don't even have the haircut anymore.
Yeah, but
no,
it's still there.
As of now, I am distinguishable. I am distinguishable from Farva.
Debatable,
Johnny. That was a very weird time in my life where Dad kept making me get crew cuts,
flat tops,
even though I was 17 years old.
Flat tops and mustaches.
And I never had. Well, I had a solo mustache at the beginning of COVID, but I never had. I had to get a fake mustache back then to even look like him.
That's because it takes a while for you to grow. That's one thing which is strange
for my facial.
For you, your
mustache.
facial hair takes a little bit longer for the mustache.
No, not even longer. Like it
takes longer to grow.
If you notice, my mustache isn't even. It's not like yours where it's thick. I have to grow it long and comb it to the side.
Yeah, sort of like a Fu Man.
Because it's very. If you can see, it's very thin.
Yeah, I'm not looking at it because it's disgusting me.
But my beard grows very, very nicely. When I shaved everything except for the stash at the beginning of COVID, I got it back to this in like 2 or 3 weeks. Close to this.
No, I've seen it before.
It's just the stash doesn't cooperate. I want like an Uncle John stash.
I mean, you probably could do it.
No, it's a matter of I don't have enough hairs like vertically. Like it's not thick enough this way.
All right. I believe you.
That's vertical, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I don't,
vertical limit.
You from the top, like, why don't you grow your nose hairs out, Uncle Jabroni style?
I think it's leave coins and
yeah.
And
for those who don't know, our Uncle John, he has a really good mustache. Our Uncle Ron does too. All of our uncles pretty much all have mustaches, and they're all phenomenal.
And they're all real. And they don't do like the modern day, like, oh, I'm gonna put wax in it. And
no, they just wake up mustache.
Yeah.
Which is, that's something that you look forward to.
Sounds like a really weird indie pop out. Wake up mustache.
Yeah. It's like some weird nickname.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was over in the war, we grew our deployment mustaches.
You grow a nice mustache.
That was, and when you're out there fighting the good fight, they give you a little bit more leeway on the regulations. And I had a pretty sizable push broom going on.
All the
underneath
Delta
the
guys
schnozzle.
you see in like the TV shows or the movies, the Delta, like the special, they all have like big beards and stuff.
Yeah, well,
are they allowed to?
Yeah. And if
you should have joined that.
And if they're not,
you should have joined that group. Then
I asked them, just like I've been emailing Barstool every week.
I've been emailing Delta.
I've been emailing Delta Force, Chuck Norris, all the heavy hitters.
I've seen all the movies.
Yeah.
I want to grow my beard out.
Every Green Beret I knew, I just hit the email. Hey, you guys got a spot for me? And I think they ought to delete my emails at this point. I sent them a.
What's the email address you're sending it at greenberet.com?
It's Joe at DeltaForce.USA.
No, that's the guy. He works for like Delta, like plumbing. Joe at Delta Force is like one of the sales team.
We can't talk about plumbing because the sponsor is a plumber.
Oh, okay.
We got to protect the. We got to stay in the in the family. We got to protect our moneymakers here, but. Yeah, it's not working out for me in Delta Force, but I did get to grow a mustache at least, so that was good. Not like Uncle John or Ron or even Jabroni.
They just woke up solid stash like in their life.
Yeah, it's solid. Like
Uncle Ron, solid stash, accordion skills.
Yeah, he's got it all. Yeah, we're really blessed to have the uncles and family members we do.
Yeah,
grandparents. A lot of real A-listers,
a lot of real A-list mustaches.
That's it. Oh yeah. Well,
Andy back in the 80s.
I did see that. Yeah, that was pre-wedding. Yeah, good for him.
With the mullet.
It was like a, not really so much a mullet, but it was like one of those slick back hair that turned into a mullet. It was like a natural.
Yeah, he looked exactly like the Adam Sandler's buddy from Wedding Singer, like his limo driving buddy. Like it was that
Oh,
setup.
yeah.
It was like mustache and then like
Mustache and-
slicked back into the mullet
Yeah.
hair.
They were cones.
They were cool.
What a great film.
Oh,
Great
my,
reference.
very underrated.
He was the caddy in Happy
Yeah, in Happy
Gilmore.
Gilmore.
In case people didn't know
What do you think,
that.
man? Slightly downhill? No,
Slightly left.
No, it only seems that way because you only have one shoe on. Oh, yeah.
He had a good beard in that too.
He did. He did. And then remember, like towards the end, he like started combing it, but he like still was like rancid looking. But he was like he would comb his like
He was comb his head back
and
and
his
beard and like
beard.
wash it in the pond.
The pond.
I mean, he was trying.
He was trying. I mean,
And
he
that
wanted to be
was-
on the PGA Tour.
And that's something that you got to be proud of. Just
Exactly.
like you're trying with the weight loss, even though Dom will check you, you got to be proud
I
of
wonder if
the
Dom
effort.
would check the Happy Gilmore caddy,
He might.
who I don't think had a name in the movie.
I think it was just
Caddy.
caddy. Yeah,
Caddy man.
caddy guy. But anyway, let's just step in the cage, all right?
Okay, let's run.
All right, I'm on my phone because again I'm a visiting player here, so I didn't bring my
You're the away team.
notebook. Yeah, away team, which is fine. So today's cage fact is sponsored by Pasquale Family Plumbing, the #1 family-owned plumbing business in all of Northeast Totowa, New Jersey. If you're in a bind, Pasquale's will be there at the ass crack of dawn to unclog your shitter so you can take your afternoon dump without having to worry about flooding the bathroom again like the sad fat sack of shit you are. Call 1-800-CLOG and use the promo code CEMENT today to get 6% off your first consultation from Pasquale's.
Pasquale does great work.
He does. And that's why I didn't want to talk about other plum situations, plumbers, because not only is Pasquale a sponsor, he plums like a son of a bitch.
Can I tell you one quick before you do the Nick Cage fact? Because you said plums. There's a person I work with who's a friend of mine, but they're kind of stupid. And the other day they said like, "Oh yeah, I was like visiting this place, like and at the hotel they had these beautiful, what the hell are they called? Prune
Plungers?
trees." And I'm like, "What? Like, oh yeah, it was like we got to like pick like fresh prunes." And I'm like,
Fresh prunes.
I'm like, prunes aren't like a natural thing. It's like, what do you mean? Like, prunes are like plums that have been dried out. It's like they don't grow prunes. Like,
they don't grow
he's like,
sun-dried.
maybe it was figs. I'm like, it was, yeah. You think
Probably
you're just
that.
growing prunes that were just growing craisins out
Yeah,
there in the wild.
Chocolate-covered raisins were coming out of the
You ever
trees.
seen those pretzel trees?
I couldn't believe it.
All right, sorry, I keep interrupting you when you're in your structure.
I don't care. Nobody's listening. So,
One goddamn hit.
yeah. The only person that's listening is going to hate me anyway. That's Dom Delpy.
But he was always getting
Thanks, Dom. Big fan. Big fan of your work, Dom.
Please don't criticize
Yeah.
me.
So, today's cage fact. So, love this one. This is all right. So you know how you hear stories of like crazy fans, like present company excluded,
Included.
of other celebrities, and there's always like a weird stalker story.
Yeah.
Cage had a stalker, the Mime, which was a very Cage-esque type of stalker. And then there's other fans that have had stories, like other celebrities that had stories where like this guy showed up and tried to knock on my door, and Dave Portnoy has it all the time with Barstool, my future boss, hopefully.
You're the guy.
I'm the guy.
You're the guy. That's
I'm the
knocking
guy.
on
I'm
his door.
trying. I'm trying to knock on his door.
Presidente.
I don't know. I don't knock because I know he'll call the cops. I just do.
Because I know his door code.
No, because I just get in and wait there. I just dress up as the UPS driver for his unboxings and walk in.
Review me.
No, I just walk by his apartment every time. I miss all my work. I'm supposed to go to work. I'm just walking by his apartment.
National
waiting for him.
defense is in shambles.
It's in
Johnny's
shambles.
just
The
waiting
country's going to shit because of me. Because I'm just waiting to get hired
for a block.
Yeah, for just one block. No, but so Nick Cage had a situation where it was a crazier. I don't even know if it was a fan. So he wakes up in the middle of the night at his house. This was several years ago when he was married initially. Wakes up, middle of the night, naked guy standing over his bed. He's naked. He's wearing a leather jacket he took from Nick Cage's wardrobe. So it's a Cage jacket.
Yeah.
It's a Cage cut.
It's a Cage cut.
And he's eating a fudgesicle
From the
Cage freezer. So
It's Cage cold.
It is Cage cold. So he's standing over Cage and his wife in bed. watching him sleep naked. I don't know what he was doing with his hands below the equator, but he's crushing this fudgesicle. There's chocolate dripping on the bed. He's getting it on the cage cut. Imagine waking up to that.
Now, I can imagine me waking up to that and being like, what the fuck?
Sorry, Terrence, family show. Here we go. This is the first time I did not do it. I didn't blow it, Terrence. Don't forget. It was Nick. I'm blaming you again.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus. I wouldn't fit under the bus.
I wouldn't. Yeah, not yet. But you're getting there.
Probably fit under a tank at this point.
You're very close, yeah.
But I can imagine Nick Cage being like sitting that guy down, like, what brings you here,
He
man?
did. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Funny you should say that. Nick Cage talked this guy down. He clearly, I guess he sensed that, I don't know.
They were kindred
He
spirits.
sensed that the guy had some sort of mental disability. I don't know how you wouldn't be able to sense it, but...
Naked, your coat, your popsicle.
Yeah, your fudgesicle, middle of the night, over your bed. You're not mentally there, fella. So he calms the guy down while simultaneously the police get called. It was like a very, like a negotiation type, like a hostage negotiator situation where you're calming the guy down. Meanwhile, you got the FBI agents Johnson & Johnson from Die Hard coming in the back.
No relation.
Yeah. 2x2 formation. And coming in, they took the guy down and got him, took him out, took him down, did their stuff. They did. So that's the Cage fact. Again, any normal situation where a guy is standing over your bed in the middle of the night, like I'm pulling my gun, I'm doing the Joe Pesci and My Cousin Vinny, where he runs out of the cabin and just starts blasting his 6-shooter in the air,
like Danny DeVito from Always Sunny.
Oh,
So
yeah.
anyway, I started
blasting. That's exactly what I would have been doing. And Nick Cage took it in the middle of the night. He's dead asleep. Wakes up. He's like, "This is an opportunity for growth.
This is an opportunity for friendship.
Let's do this." This is probably right after he had his little mushroom high with his cat. What we talked about the last time you were on. So that's the Cage fact. Another incredible roller coaster of emotions here. I can't get enough of this guy.
I gotta say, it's not so much of a roller coaster because it's like you already know it's gonna whatever it is. It's not like you think he's gonna do something calm and do something crazy. I anticipated he was gonna do something insane.
That's the roller coaster. You're anticipating, like, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Oh my God, he negotiated with a psychopath. Like, oh my God, he talked to his brother cat. Like, it's every time it's a tense and it's like, what's gonna happen? And then it's absolute like pleasure, not disappointment. What's the opposite of disappointment? Pleasure, right?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I was such a disappointing.
Ask our parents.
Ask somebody else. Yeah.
Ask JPL3 about disappointment and me.
Oh yeah,
that's my autobiography.
That's your
disappointment.
Your
and
biopic,
me.
the Nick Libretti story, the Farva story. But let's move on to the junction. We'll spin the logo up. All right, so today. Well, I don't usually like come up with a specific topic, or I try not to anymore when I got guests because it's a little easier to just kind of flow with it. But I think I feel like one of the things that we always had in common is our movies that we liked and like kind of stories behind the movies.
Which is and we were talking about this yesterday, like just between us, is that let's be honest, we didn't really get along that much as kids. Not that we didn't get along, we weren't really around each other that much. Because you were always off, like, doing a sport every season.
I had to sit on the bench for a lot of sports teams.
Yeah. And I
was not.
I mean, I did the shows and everything, like, later in high school and everything. But before that, I was really just I like to just hang out, man. And as you can see, not much has changed.
Yeah, not much has changed.
But it wasn't until, like, after college where we kind of started, I guess, becoming, like, friendlier, like, closer, where you started making like, oh yeah, it's like that scene in Indiana Jones, and I'm like, oh, I thought I was the only one who like knew that scene. Like, oh yeah, it's like that time from that movie, and I'm like, I thought I was the only one who like made movie, and I didn't realize that you had been like watching these with the same intensity that I had for all these years.
Yeah.
But we never talked about it like when we were young. We never like sat there. Oh, remember this part in the movie, that part in the movie,
except for maybe Rocky, which is really the only one I can remember us knowing. Back.
We would just fight a lot, and then I would put the beanbag on you. And I would either put the beanbag on you and sit on you,
which was devastating.
Or after you were done hitting me, I would do the tank.
Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, which
tank.
We'll be talking about now in the junction.
Yeah.
So that's a great segue into the topic because we have this whole commonality of movies and we could talk about them all day.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Indiana Jones saga and
I have to
and
say
how that all played out.
me and you are a big fan of franchises, and I think
Good ones,
like the best ones. Back to the Future,
life changing.
Star Wars,
Not as life changing for me, but very good. Yes.
Rocky, the life changing.
Look, that
we have a whole thing we talked about Rocky.
Yeah,
and we're gonna do another Rocky one. At some point.
So real quick, we recorded a bunch of episodes just to maximize our time here together, and then also with all this great this technology, because you don't want us talking in my shitbag studio with one mic like a bunch of dickheads.
Like a bunch of jabronis.
Yeah, so we recorded a bunch of episodes. Rocky is now one of them. I'll post that whenever we get it up and running, but Rocky, life-changing.
Yeah.
Life-changing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I gotta say, so that was, and when they listen to the Rocky one, and the other Rocky one we're gonna do, they'll see how it was life changing for you.
That was it for me.
Indiana Jones was it for me.
Right,
it was life changing. It's what started me wanting to study history, even from a young age. Because don't forget, like when
be desirable to women.
Working on that one.
Well, yeah, I mean we're always working. I mean, me too, but
you remember, like from. Even before the Titanic movie came out, like I was big into history from when I was 3 and 4 and 5 years old because of Indiana Jones, and especially we got to obviously do a ranking of them all. But The Last Crusade is probably the one that meant the most to me in terms of like my historical preferences and also my actor preferences.
Oh yeah,
because that was just
It was a lot of A-listers.
But yeah, Indiana Jones. From I think we leave the last one out of it. I say we don't even. But that's me personally. I was so insulted by it.
I agree. It was sorry, folks. I got the China virus.
I got so excited.
Yeah, I got so excited I couldn't help myself. That was like if you've never seen any of the Indiana Jones before, which a lot of people in this day and age have not, like the younger, and they just see that one, like. Shia LaBeouf, you can dog on him all you want. He's a good actor.
He's good in some stuff.
He's a good actor. Yeah. Obviously, Harrison Ford is a good actor. It's an action-packed movie.
It's an entertaining. Like if you
it's
had no
standalone, it's an all right.
Yeah, it's like Swordfish. It's like all right, I'll watch Swordfish.
Yeah, I think it's a little better than Swordfish personally.
I don't know that whole hack of the computer scene.
Good. Well. I mean,
there's none of that in Indiana Jones.
No, there's no blowjob virus hacks or whatever the hell they were doing, hacking the Matrix while getting blowjays.
There's a whole category of movies that I set up in my mind, and a lot of the Fast and Furious movies are in this realm. I call them TNT movies. Like I'm not really anymore because I stream Netflix and everything.
Yeah.
But back in the day, if you're like Saturday afternoon, you flip through the channels and like. Crystal Skull is on TNT at 2 in the afternoon, and it like kind of just started.
Yeah, I'll leave it on.
Like I'll leave it on. I'll watch it.
Yeah, and you're doing other stuff on the computer.
Yeah.
You're
same with like Fast and the Furious. Like, oh, this is on. Like, okay, I'll leave it. Like, except for like the recent ones are really good. But like Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift is like on TNT at 1:30. Okay, like I'll leave it on.
It's something you can leave on. Yeah, and that's exactly what that was. So that's all we have to say about that.
We're not even gonna talk about it anymore.
We're not. We can't. If you're trying to compare it to the rest of them,
not even.
Get the hell out of here. Don't watch this program anymore because you're not welcome.
Yeah.
And I am judging you. I don't like to judge people. We talked about this previously, but I'm I can judge you from the safety of the behind the microphone, behind the computer screen.
We're going to send Dom after you. If you like that movie better than the other three, we're going to
We got a guy.
We got a guy.
We got a guy to come after
put you in your place.
That's right. But let's get into the real ones.
What was the first one that you remember?
The first one I definitely saw. Well, it's not just that I remember. I saw them out of order.
Oh yeah, we obviously did see them out of order.
The first one I saw was Temple of Doom.
See, here's where I'm confused for myself. I know that we had Temple of Doom on regular VHS. It was just a regular VHS tape that they bought us of Temple of Doom.
Yeah, we had all of them on VHS back in the day.
No, we didn't. We had Last Crusade, but it was taped.
It was a recording.
Again from WB11 because Grandpa
JPL2.
Terminator 3, Rocky 3, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Rocky 3, and Last Crusade we had taped. So I know when I watched the movie, like the regular
We also
version,
had Death Wish, But that
I didn't watch it.
I watched that. It was tough.
We had
a dog
Howard Stern's butt bongo fiesta.
Yeah, I think that was JPL
that was
3,
JPL 3.
not 2 that
Not 2.
recorded that one. But
when I watched Last Crusade now, I'm able to remember like exactly where the commercials were.
yeah, and like where the tracking.
Yeah.
So for the heathens that never watched a videotape before, when you're watching, there's like what is called buffering now, I guess you could say. It was like a real staticky tracking that would happen where the video would start to go in and out, and then like there would be, if you had a high-tech VCR, there would be an auto tracking that would kind of smooth out the reel, and I knew exactly where the tracking issues were, then the commercials hits. But when you watch it now on like regular TV or DVD or anything, it's like it's almost disappointing to not see that.
I miss those commercials for like Campbell's soup or jeans
or something that was probably
Oshkosh
inappropriate.
bagosh.
Yeah, something that was like had an inappropriate joke that was okay in commercials back then.
In 1994.
Yeah, where they talk about anything, like talk about women or something bad.
I definitely remember those two the most from my childhood.
Yeah.
Raiders, I remember again, like it was like on AMC or like it'd be on some like on a Saturday night, it'd be on like TNT, and we'd watch Raiders then.
I thought it was the second one. I thought that was the second one in the saga.
It wasn't.
No.
In terms of what? In terms of movie order?
Movie order. I thought
like
it was
the movies that were released.
Right, the 3.
They were released in order of Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, based on what I saw when I saw them, I thought Raiders was number 2.
But chronologically, in terms of when the films take place, Temple of Doom is first. And then it's beginning of Last Crusade. Then it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then it's Last Crusade.
In the middle of, it was like a Last Crusade sandwich with Raiders of the Lost Ark in the middle.
Yeah, because don't forget, the beginning of Last Crusade is River Phoenix as young Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and then he has Lost Ark after after he's on the boat with the Cuban. Is he a Cuban? He's dressed like one.
Oh, wait,
the cross.
Yeah, that guy's not cute. He was. I've got something. Like he was like a white, like an evil white guy, like some evil.
He dressed like he had, the
no, that was
fedora.
that's just how you dressed in the 20s.
It was a white suit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was how you Cuban like Tony Montana dressed like that in the 80s, but that's how white criminals dressed in the 20s.
I just thought that guy was Cuban this whole time. I was like, man, they're really like, because it was in the 80s it came out. I was like, man, they're really hitting home this Cold War bit.
They're really taking a lot of modern interpretations of
so my bad.
So do you. Throw him over the side.
I was like, man, this guy speaks really good English for a Cuban fella.
Cuban guy in the rain.
Boy, was I wrong.
But yeah, so Temple of Doom I definitely remember because we had the actual straight up VHS, like no interruptions, no commercials, just the movie.
The movie.
And
legit movie.
I don't remember. I remember this one day we watched it.
You tried to pull my heart out?
No. Well, we always did that. That was always part of it. But we went to Grandma and Grandpa Scalingi's like on a Sunday for like dinner.
That's Crazy Carol's parents.
Yeah, where we had our usual, meat with spaghetti and the brown juice and then a Klondike bar.
Right after, yeah.
And then we came. I just remember being there and then coming home.
Everybody just heard brown juice. It has no context, and we're leaving it at that. Go. We're coming home.
And then we came home and like we had seen it. Like, we just decided like I don't know why. I just had this memory of us going to Grandma and Grandpa's and then coming home and watching like, you want to watch Temple of Doom? And like Dad's like, all right, we could put it on.
Yeah. And that was it. Yeah.
And that was it.
No, I remember the first time. It was like a Saturday morning, which is probably when we watched the majority of our films.
Oh yeah, Friday night, Saturday morning.
Yeah. And it was the scene where the Kali Ma guy was ripping the dude's heart out. What an incredible and that was before, like I thought that was real. I was like, man, how can I do that? I was trying to memorize like the ritual that he was saying, the things he was saying. I was like, man, I wonder if I could do that. Nick, get over here for a second. Let me try to get your heart. And then like it didn't dawn on me until later on. Like, first of all, you can't do that. You can't shove your hand inside someone's sternum like that. Just hand. Unless you're maybe like The Rock or somebody.
Ripping gates off.
Yeah, ripping gates off off his own security wall. Yeah. And then you pull the heart out and it's still pumping. The guy's still alive.
And then I love when he goes down as he goes down into the fire, the heart separately catches on fire.
And all of that was real to me until later on. It was almost like it just dawned. I was like, wait a second. How did that guy stay alive until he got down to the fire? Didn't make sense.
No.
And that's when I realized Libretti, you're an idiot.
That movie even gave me some kind of historical context for when I hear like in other historical movies or something that talk about like the gods like Kali and Shiva. Is I'm like, oh yeah, I remember those from Temple of Doom.
From Temple of Doom, yeah.
You betrayed Shiva, and then like when they're fighting for the stones.
Oh yeah, at the end on the walking bridge that he cut down.
The hot stone. That was a good one. And then when they sing "Anything Goes" in Chinese in the beginning.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
And then with the
too. That was all great. And then the falling down through all those little awnings when they jumped.
Cameo in that movie. So when they fall down to the awnings and then they're in the car chase.
Are you talking about Dan Aykroyd?
Dan Aykroyd.
I knew exactly where you were going with that. They go. So for you heathens who haven't seen the movie yet, they jump down the awnings out of the club. They get into the car. Short Round, a.k.a. Data, is...
What do you mean? It's not Data.
He's Data from Goonies.
Not
Data from Star Trek, you four-eyed nerd.
Okay, because you're referencing Goonies is a lot less nerdy.
I also talk in another episode that we recorded about my love for Illusion's Magic Bar, but we're not going to get into that.
But you're a nerd.
But you're the nerd because you thought it was Star Trek, you loser. So Data from Goonies, he's driving to the airport. They get to the airport to escape in this plane, which they find out was a bad guy plane. Dan Aykroyd is sort of like their concierge almost.
But he's like British, like typical like British 1930s like khaki like shorts with like that shirt with what not the lapels, what are they called? Like with the button,
like the shoulder board kind of thing.
No, but what are they called? Not strumpets, it's something like that. Like
strumpets.
Yeah.
Tea and strumpets. Probably. I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name. I'm the idiot here, not
and
you.
And he had like glasses and like a thin British
mustache and the high socks.
Oh, Dr. Jones.
Yeah, he was
Dan Aykroyd.
He was wearing the compression socks for his like varicose veins or something like that. And you're like, wait a second.
Nice try, Lao Shay. And then he just closes the door and says like Lao Shay International Holdings.
Oops, sorry about that.
He didn't see that getting onto the plane.
It happens.
Yeah, but
he got real cocky there for a second. A little too Han Solo in that scene.
But no, much more humble in the other movies.
Definitely. Well, he realized after the fact.
Don't forget that was
the first
in
the history timeline.
Yeah. But then there's that whole movie, which was good. It was really good.
I liked it a lot. I think it was because it was the first I saw.
Yeah, so it's got that special place in your removed heart.
Right, in my heart, that was my lit up heart. That while I'm still alive, it's over here. Special place. The guy who played the bad guy, I don't remember his name.
Remember his name. They don't really
Molderon or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the bald guy, he had the red like tongue paint, the Rolling Stones.
He had like the big stone, like the big horn helmet that he wore.
Yeah. He died several years ago, which was a little sad when you read about it. But he's like a very famous. He's an A-lister, a super A-lister in India in Bollywood.
Oh, really?
He like held the record at one point for like most movies. At one point, not anymore. Obviously, he's dead. But he was in all their, like, because they pump movies out over there in Bollywood. Is it Bollywood or Nollywood?
No,
Bollywood. Yeah. He was a big timer there. So he was only in, maybe one American movie?
I don't know. I don't
know anything else beside that, but he was a big timer. So
he's a big shot.
When you're talking about, like, other people that were big in Indiana Jones in that one, Harrison Ford, Short Round,
Dan
Aykroyd, Molderon.
He was
Kalima.
I can't remember the actress's name who played. I don't even remember her name in the movie, to be honest.
Willie?
Willie, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
She was her real name. At the time.
I think she was Stuppen Spielberg.
They were. I think. I don't know if there was something. It was something odd. I'm not gonna say it was bad, but it was either they ended up being married, but I think there was something like he had an affair on his first wife with her, and then they got married, or they were just married and they got divorced after.
Oh.
But there was something. But they were married or together when they did that.
They were doing the do.
Yeah, she was okay.
I'd take her to dinner.
Yeah, but I wouldn't pay.
Yeah, no, she was a little too high maintenance in that movie.
Yeah,
and that's when that's why Indiana Jones was probably giving her such a hard time.
Yeah,
but good on him.
I think the end of that movie, the fight on the bridge with the crocodiles,
incredible.
Prepare to meet Kali, and then he's
in hell.
Very, very good.
Hold on, lady. We go for a ride. That was a killer.
A little overly bigoted portrayal of.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Short Round.
I don't even think Short Round in real life has
an
that accent.
Well, I can't remember. He didn't have an accent like that in Goonies. Did he?
He did. It wasn't. I don't know if it was as bad, but he might have sounded like that in real life. But if he didn't, he nailed it in the movie. But also was like, man, you just told that guy to be overly Asian.
Yeah.
Like, we can't do that anymore, guys.
That's like if you like you went for a movie role, like, oh listen, we need you to be like what's going on?
Yeah,
super like overly Ginzo.
Yeah, which
But
is fine.
Like I guess because like some of the guys in this, like Christopher in The Sopranos, he's very like a thespian like actor when you talk to him, but he's very like just listen,
you have to be an idiot,
stereotype of yourself.
Yeah, which is I think it's a little different for Italians. I feel like we shit talked ourselves out of any sort of being like offended by things. Yeah, we laughed our way out of. We had
cousins who were very offended by Sopranos.
There's a couple of people with tinier brains that get offended.
Some of our smarter cousins. I'm not going to say names.
I don't know who. I don't talk about. I don't have deep conversations with our family for obvious reasons.
Our Texas people.
I know who you're talking about now. But
also,
I don't like who cares?
I don't care.
I think
it's a great show.
I think that shit's hilarious, and I'm sure Data would think it's hilarious. Looking back now, like, man, look at how stereotypical I was.
Dr. Jones.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, but good on him. He did a great job.
Yeah. Solid movie.
Good movie, Temple of Doom.
Again, similar to how, and which people will hear in the Rocky one, I think in terms of best films, I think Raiders is the best film.
See, I guess maybe.
I
don't know enough about film, like in that regard.
In terms of story arc, in terms of character development and plot, and also like uniqueness. You know, it was because it was the first one. You know, that's not always the case. Where the first one is about like maybe in Rocky and don't forget in Star Wars, the second one is the best film. Empire is the best.
Way better.
But in terms of like just it might not be your favorite, but in terms of film,
probably yeah.
Empire was the best. Raiders was just when you were able to set a tone like that and like you set the stage for all later ones. It was really good. At the end. And establishing the Nazis as like a recurring bad, like obviously they were in real life they're a recurring bad.
They kind of already established themselves.
That's a good, but as it kind of showcases the purity of Indiana Jones as a grave robber. But the purity of like his main enemy is not just like some other guy or something. It's Nazis. Like he was the Rocky of his era. He ended World War II.
Yeah, he did. Well, was it Lost Ark was around?
Raiders
was
of the Lost
probably
Ark.
middle of World War. No, it was probably beginning. It was probably before.
All of the original movies take place between the 1920s and 1930s.
Okay, so it was still
there was no world even in Last Crusade there was no World War II yet. It was
Last Crusade was still not World War II, even though Hitler was there. They were burning books.
Hitler was there for a while before World War II.
Yeah, he was there, but I thought they would be in the mist. I didn't know the year.
World War II started in 1939. I want to say like Last Crusade takes place like 37, 38.
Okay,
so
that checks.
But then
if you look at the tank technology they were using in Last Crusade.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That was a World War I tank, but they were in Jordan. Like Jordan didn't have like a Tiger tank. It was the Kingdom of Jordan in 1930s. I was surprised they had a tank.
They got some good tech from that rich guy that who was that dude that they went to? That was he Jordanian? Some like oil tycoon or something.
He was the king of Jordan.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the king of Jordan.
Yeah. He gave him like all the nicest cars, the tank, the flying carpets.
They paid him. They paid the Donovan and the Nazis paid him.
Oh, that's right. It was like the trunk full of
gold,
stuff.
and then the Rolls Royce.
That's right.
In order for them to have access to
freedom
his
of
land,
movement.
And then they also Jordan as like an escort gave them this like World War I tank
that they got from the Nazis.
They
probably
got it from Turkey or something.
Yeah,
like some big World War I.
But didn't they slap a cross on it?
No,
I thought there was not a swastika, but a cross on the tank.
Like it might have been just no. I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember that part,
but so
timeline wise that makes sense.
Yeah.
But as far as film, I can agree with that.
Crystal Skull goes into his that apparently he was for the OSF.
We're not talking about that.
I know, but he was for what was like the CIA during World War II? Was it the
OSS?
OSS. Yeah, he was in the OSS during World War II. oddly enough, they say he was fighting in the Pacific. I'm like, but he has so much experience against Nazis.
Yeah, why would they do
he
that?
He has, by the start of World War II for America, no one in this country has more experience and knowledge of fighting Nazis.
Of knowing their intent.
Yeah.
No, because that's the one thing every bad guy did when they thought they were going to kill him. They were just like, I'll tell you everything.
Here's my plan.
Here's my plan, and here's
he
why.
also personally met Hitler. He has firsthand knowledge of the inner
autograph.
workings of the Nazi party. No, we're going to put him in Burma.
Yeah, that's, again, we're not talking about that anymore, but that's one of the many reasons why it's out of the discussion.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's just ridiculous.
But you also... You don't forget a lot of the cool characters that you see again, and so that's why Temple of Doom is kind of like an outlier. Is you can kind of see the connection between Raiders and Last Crusade because similar characters, like this, like Marcus Brody, Sala.
Yeah, and it's
Nazis.
like a jump, and it's a jump in not jump in timeline, but it goes in the timeline.
Yeah,
because
it's closer in time. I want to say I got to look at this, but I want to say Raiders is probably like mid 30s, like 36, and then Last Crusade's like 38, 39.
Whenever I would just imagine from an idiot's perspective, it would probably be around the time the Nazis started getting hyped, like bigger, because they had a little bit more freedom when Belloc is able to just grab a bunch of Nazis and go find the Ark.
Belloc, he's a great
bad guy.
He's a great.
He's a good actor too.
I think he was a personally better bad guy than. So Raiders was in 36.
Yeah, see that sounds about right.
Last Crusade, Raiders was in 36, and
we don't have Pistols out.
Last
Pistols
Crusade,
busy, so he can't. He's not behind helping us out
Last
here
Crusade
with
was 38,
the searches.
So it was 38, like I said, was Last Crusade, and then Temple of Doom was, I want to say, probably like 29 or 30.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pistol just walked in.
Pistol
everybody.
just walked in. Oh.
He's not mic'd up. He's busy doing some more important stuff. But hey, Pistol.
But hey, Pistol. 35 was Doom.
That checks.
Yeah.
Pretty like significant Nazi.
Yeah. They were just starting to be. They were like rabble rousers.
They were JV.
Yeah, they were JV.
Yeah.
But Belloc, great. And I love how they set him up as the bad guy, as the antagonist from the first, from the cold open, essentially.
Oh, with
when he's in the temple in I don't know, somewhere in Central America,
that was, yeah.
Like some kind of Mayan temple.
Yeah.
And then everything you have will be mine. And then he takes the thing, and
which is funny because in our previous recording that I'll post some other time, we talked about that because of. The character Molina is
Alfred
in that
Molina
scene.
is in that scene.
Yeah,
a lot of sneaky heavy hitters.
I told you, yeah.
Because, and I don't think a lot of modern millennials know this. Sala plays I can't remember his name, but the main dwarf in Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
I can't think of his name.
I don't know his real name.
Yeah. No. The name in the dwarf name. He's like a famous.
Not Dumbledore.
No, idiot. But yeah, he's a famous. He has. I think he has like 3 names. That guy in real life, he's like a 3 name. Like John Henry Winston or something.
Yeah,
like that.
He's incredible. We'll talk about him in a second. Let's keep talking about films, and then I want to talk about him specifically.
Okay. So yeah, better film, but again, most entertaining overall, and like most in my mind rewatchability. Last Crusade.
Yeah, easily.
I think easily has the most rewatch. Like I could watch that.
We keep shaking the table like we're in a hurricane or an earthquake. Not hurricane. I'm so
like
stupid.
We're in a hurricane.
God damn it, I'm stupid. But
here comes the story of a hurricane.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I need to upgrade all around is getting a tripod separate from our table because as you can see, we're bouncing on. We're doing Italian hand gestures.
We're doing Italian jobs.
Yeah, we're shaking the camera like a bunch of morons. But Last Crusade definitely is like the most fun. It's like when I see it, I'm like, oh boy, let's go.
I'm honestly gonna watch it when I come back from food shopping today. I'm probably gonna. Now that we're talking about
I might pop it on.
I'm probably gonna watch it.
Yeah, I might pop it in when I get back to New York.
Do you have the DVDs or you just?
I'll probably just have to Googleize it.
You know what?
It's on
Those
somewhere.
and Rocky, I always see them on one of the services until I want to watch one, and then they're freaking not.
Right. So I'll go do some digging and try to find it. But Sean Connery.
Yeah, setting up.
I mean, come on.
Setting up what an amazing on-screen. Like, first of all, their chemistry was great as father and son. It seemed
they were
so
like a father and son.
It was so natural.
Which I'm trying to remember. I don't know if they did any films prior to that.
No,
don't
but
think
if you
so.
want to know from like a timeline and I guess just how good Sean Connery is at acting or maybe the prosthetics or whatever, he's younger in Last Crusade than he is in The Rock. The Rock was filmed like 4 or 5 years after Last Crusade. The Rock came out in like 95, 96. Last Crusade came out in 89.
Yeah. Oh, no, I knew
But
that.
he's like an old grandpa in Last Crusade, and then in The Rock, he's like kicking ass.
Oh, well, he's supposed to be slightly younger in The Rock.
No, I think The Rock, he just plays whatever his age is, but I think in Last
He's
Crusade,
supposed to play
he's
an
playing
old
older,
father.
Yeah.
Yeah. A father of a 30-something-year-old man.
Who was not 30-something in 19... No, Harrison Ford easily had to be like 48 to 50 when he did Last Crusade.
He looked like, I don't remember seeing a movie with him in it that he didn't look like a grown-ass man already.
Star Wars, he was like probably mid-30s.
Yeah, but he was still like, you can tell, you can look at people like, what's his name? Matt Serra, not Matt Serra, the fighter, the guy from Superbad, the kid from Superbad.
Oh, yeah, he just always looks like he's 12.
He always, like, he's a great actor, good talent, but he will never look like a man, like, I'm an older man, like, I got it. Harrison Ford always does.
Well, here's the thing, though. I think it's also the characters he portrays because he had I'm not going to call it a cameo. It was like a talking role in Apocalypse Now in the beginning when they first get Martin Sheen and they're giving him the mission. Yeah. But he's like this lieutenant along with all these generals. So he's kind of like the younger guy on the totem pole. And he did this, I think, right after Star Wars. So he'd already had his Star Wars like fame, but he kind of as a favorite to Francis Ford Coppola.
To jump in, yeah.
But he seemed like kind of younger. He seemed like he was like 30.
I don't remember him in that.
You gotta
have to go look it up.
It's in the beginning. It's in the beginning.
I have to go look him up in that. But
he seems like he's like in his 30s for that, like how he acted and how he was. But yeah.
Regardless, in this one, he's a man.
Yeah.
And his dad needs to be significantly older than that.
Yeah, well, and I think they're probably only like maybe in real life, like maybe 15 years difference.
Maybe
in
something
age,
like that.
Maybe
yeah,
tops 20.
And you know what though? Realistically, like I could definitely see Sean Connery popping out a kid at 15.
Oh yeah, with like a 38-year-old.
Yeah,
like model.
Yeah, some lady he just picks up Shrek, and that's it. Yeah. Womack.
Oh, Greg loves. He loves the.
Oh yeah, when I listen to your podcast with you and Greg at Secret Chris, I love when
the Rock reference.
When the Rock references come in hot. Womack.
Well, Pistol actually, he was out in San Francisco one time at like a work. He was at like some work party at a hotel, and he's looking around and he's like, man, this looks like really familiar. And I think
he had his own little LPDS treasure hunt.
I think he asked some guys like, hey, where was this like in a movie? He's like, oh yeah, this is the hotel from The Rock where he hangs Womack over the
yeah,
side.
with the wire.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. It was great.
Should have taken a picture.
Oh, he didn't know back then.
He should have relived that scene.
He should have known, man. He should have known that in 5 years, my buddy's brother's going to have a podcast, and he's going to want pictures of weird movie places.
Yeah, for the treasure hunt next time. You live and learn.
In terms of historical, like the historical story, I like both equally. I like, obviously, big like into European history. Crusades is great, but also like the Moses and the biblical history of Raiders.
Yeah. Did
you ever see? You've definitely noticed this in Last Crusade. The slight little connection they make between the two movies.
Tell me when
It's in the catacombs. When he's in the catacombs underneath Venice.
I remember. Is that you're talking when he finds the shield in the
before? Yeah, but right before that, when they're walking through and he has his light, he has like the thing.
I remember he sent something to the chick, the Nazi.
So they go over and they see on the wall. She like blows the candle. Like, what's this? She's like, the Ark of the Covenant. And
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And she's like, are you sure? He's like, pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
But then the music that they're playing right at that moment is the music from the end of, not from the end, but from all of Raiders. That.
I didn't realize that portion. But what I remember, he said, "Pretty sure." Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So but like I said, between that, Marcus Brody and Sala, like those just seem like two more connected movies.
Yeah.
Then it kind of seems like Temple. I know it was supposed to be like, I guess, a prequel, but it just kind of seemed more shoved in there. Like, I guess they maybe wanted to do
quick
standalone
moneymaker or something. I don't know.
They probably wanted to make it standalone, but then when they saw that it wasn't as big of a hit as it was still a big hit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as big as Raiders. They probably like, oh, let's bring some of like the people from the first one that made it better. So they made. Don't forget, in the first one, Brody wasn't like some kind of comic relief. He was just like he's a smart guy,
smart fella.
And then he's like, I shouldn't play. It's not part of me.
I forgot.
Speaks 8 languages.
That's what.
He'll blend in, disappear. You never see him again. I do beg your pardon.
He got lost in his own library.
Oh, Mr. Brody.
That's solid, though.
Yeah, I know.
Look,
Marcus Brody, sir.
So we could talk about him, but real quick, Last Crusade. I think the Sean Connery dynamic with. I think that's why it was made it the most fun was like that back and forth and some of the lines where he's like, "She's a Nazi." Like, she talks in her sleep. Like, and this is a top-notch Sean Connery impression, obviously.
Oh yeah, apparently.
So, but that whole back and forth made it. I don't know, just made it so much more like.
I didn't
fun.
trust her. Why should you?
Why should you? And then they realize they're Eskimo brothers, so they both summon the same woman, which is again wild.
But also, he portrayed a very convincing like when the tank goes over the side. I've lost him.
Oh
like,
yeah,
that was very emotional moment.
It was, yeah.
And then he kind of just shows up like, no, I'm alright. I just need a minute.
Yeah.
I need to take a.
And they did a very dad thing where it's just like,
oh, okay, you're fine. Let's go.
Good. Okay. Well, he hugged him,
Yeah.
but then he's like. The son, Harrison Ford was like, "All right, let's get back to work. We got some Nazis.
We got some Nazis and some old knights to go.
Yeah,
fight.
we gotta go save the Grail, the Holy Grail." But
you chose Paul.
They did. That's the night guy for the reference. That's the night guy from
the night
man. The night
day man.
But the dynamic, like the father-son bit when they're in the blimp, the dirigible. And
it's a Zeppelin.
A Zeppelin. That's it. That was
dirigible.
Dirigible is from Little Nemo, that cartoon movie. It's the same thing. Whatever.
Yeah, same movie.
Yeah, same movie. But they kind of go into like why Sean Connery thought he was a good dad and why Harrison Ford thought he was a bad dad. And he's telling him, "You were never there," and he's like, "I taught you self-reliance." And that was something that was like, man, that's such a real thing. Is like. Our parents probably think that they're teaching us one thing, and we're probably thinking they're doing another thing.
Yeah, but no one's teaching their kids self-reliance anymore.
By abandoning them. No, our parents did, but...
He provided everything necessary, shelter, food, education, but in terms of like, he's like, I didn't make you like have to clean your ears or be home at a certain time. It's like, I taught you self-reliance and self-sustainability.
Yeah, but at the time...
Without like abandoning you, like I was, without being neglectful.
Well, so that's what he thought. Indy thought he was... never around, never there, and just left me to my own devices.
Well, he was too busy writing in his journal.
Right. He had the Grail diary. He had
illuminate me.
The Benedict man will pass.
I know so many quotes. I think I might know that whole
book, the whole diary.
I might know the whole movie, line by line.
I mean, it's an incredible movie. But back real quick to what we were talking about with the tank, how you and me would fight. So there is a scene. First of all. Jordan, I was there on a temporary duty for a few days.
Did you get to go
for work? I didn't get to go. We didn't have the time. It was 3 hours from where we were.
Yeah.
But we're driving in Jordan, and you look any direction, and you are immediately like I felt right in that scene, the tank scene, because it's
desert and canyons,
it's complete desert. There's literally nothing. The only sign of civilization.
Not like desert like Egypt, like with like hills of like sand. It was like flat like canyon.
Yeah, there were canyons and stuff. But after you got out of the city that we were in, it was the road, the car, and that was it. Everything else was just, I'm in Indiana Jones. I'm in Last Crusade.
Skeletons of dead Nazis and what was the name of that the group? The Brotherhood of the Cruciform Soul.
That's right. Yeah, those guys with the
Brotherhood of the Cruciform Soul.
Not the Masons, but the
that's a tattoo.
The
me
Templars
and you should get like a match. We should both get the sword,
cross on the chest.
Yeah, that right here.
Mom would love. Crazy Carol would love that.
Oh yeah. Well, because it's like religious, I guess. She'd be like, "Oh, you boys are finding religion."
She had no idea. Yeah,
we're protecting the ground.
We are protecting it. Technically, you're right. Yeah. But so when I was in Jordan, it was just like, oh my God, I was in there. But back to that scene, they're in this tank, they're fighting. The Nazis have Marcus and the father, Indy
first
Senior.
they have just Marcus, and then they ride the horses out that Sala got,
right,
and then Sean Connery goes to save. Remember they do like the secret handshake.
Yeah, they do that. Like a bunch of idiots instead of leaving, they start having a handshake together, and then the Nazis like
like they did some stupid like 1900s like college, like whatever they did at a university in Cambridge in 1910.
Right, like they were reliving their fraternity days.
Frat days.
Yeah. Idiots, and then they both get caught again, recaught. So they're in the tank. Indy ends up getting him out, and now he's fighting that Nazi general.
Yeah. First of all, Luger. That's what showed that.
That's an incredible scene too. That bit where when I was a kid, I thought it was 9 guys.
it was like three or four,
but it looked, for whatever reason, it looked like 9 guys standing in a row.
I think that was a slight nod to like how good the guy. I think they actually like, oh, this is actually good, because when he shoots him, he looks like he's like, oh.
Yeah, like, oh my God.
I think it was an actual nod to how good the Luger is.
Yeah, so he fires from the hip and fires through all these guys, these Nazis lined up. Now, poor tactics on the Nazis' part, but it did go through.
But also, there's no gun like that goes through like 9 guys like that.
How do you know?
Well, now there's one.
Now there's one. We know there's one. Yeah,
so
he gets the 9 guys, and now he's fighting the one general. Yeah. Finally, I forgot his name. Nazi.
I don't think he had
bad guy.
Bad guy also from Braveheart.
That's right. He was the bad
English knight.
Was he Longshanks?
No, he was the English knight who tried to touch his wife.
That's right. Yeah. I forgot his name in there too. Nazi from Last Crusade.
Nazi from Last Crusade and bad.
Yeah. So they're fighting back and forth, and there's a scene right before they go off. The tank goes off the cliff where Indiana Jones has him by the head, and he's slamming his head, face planting down on the tank multiple times.
Yeah.
In real life, you're dead.
Oh, yeah.
You're 100% dead. This guy was almost unfazed.
Yeah. He
was hurt, and he was bleeding, but he was slamming him in the tank.
That Nazi method. Remember, did you hear about that? Like, the Nazis were taking, like, what was it, pistol? Was it crack?
Panzer chocolate.
Yeah, but like, what was it? Yeah, it was meth in chocolate. It was called Panzer Chocolat.
That sounds about right.
The tank commanders were taking like meth to
taking hits.
Yeah, so they could like drive the tanks and fight
checks.
for like.
Yeah. I mean, they still do that.
And that guy, he was a tank commander. I guess technically, and so he was probably hopped up on. He's like, this is not. This is
nothing.
Bad.
I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm a Nazi for life.
NFL man.
That's right. So he's NFL getting his face blasted on this tank.
Yeah.
Then they go over. They do. Indy gets saved. That guy dies. Spoiler alert. Sorry. But you and I, every time we would fight at home, dicking around at the house, we would get to a point where we have these giant bean bags or even the couch cushions too.
Whatever was soft.
Right. You would take my head, and I immediately turned into the Nazi. Yeah. We never had roles. Like, we never said, okay. We
were always just wrestling around, and then that was just a move. That was a
move. That was the move.
We just called it like the indie move, and I would just slam you.
And they would just slam me, but I wouldn't fight it because it was like, well, Indy did it 5 or 6 times. This guy, I need to get it 5 or 6 times,
or else I'm a
so
wimp.
to speak, or else I'm a beta bitch boy.
I'm not even as good as a Nazi.
Right. This guy was hopped on methamphetamines, living the life of a Nazi, and I can't even compete with that. I'm trying to be better than him. I'll take the face slams to the beanbag.
Now, can we talk about Walter Donovan for a minute?
Oh, yeah.
Because
bad guy.
I don't know why he got in bed with the Nazis. Indy and his father were able to do the whole thing, but they were one step ahead the entire time. If you just called Indy and his dad, like, hey, I want to have this grail so I can like drink it myself and be immortal. Why are you getting involved? Like, it seemed like he wasn't a bad guy until he decided to hire Nazis to help him find the grail.
I think he was an opportunist. Like, he was.
Yeah, but like
they
he
were
didn't
funding
need
him.
that.
I thought he said something in the beginning that they were when they found out he was a Nazi, that he was getting funded by them, and I don't think he knew enough about Indy or his father until the Nazis told him, like, this guy is the key. And then he's like, okay. So I guess he almost needed the Nazis to find out he really needed Indiana Jones and his father. I don't remember it exactly, but that's what I was thinking, because he was not he knew the history piece mainly for the value of having these historical props.
But here's the thing, though. How much history did he know? Because if there's one, Pete, what do you know about Jesus? Like, what was Jesus' job?
Carpenter.
So there's all these gold cups.
So that goes back to what
But was it like a lack of historical knowledge on Donovan's part, or was it just hubris that he's like, oh, the King of Kings, like, or was he just like an idiot? Because that's the first thing he says is like, Carpenter's not going to drink out of some gold bejeweled chalice.
No.
He's going to drink out of like some simple thing.
Some wood almost.
Yeah, it was like copper.
Yeah.
Like he probably got lead poisoning. That's how Jesus.
That's how he really
That's
died.
How, that's how he was weak enough for them to get him.
To get him up top, yeah, they
lead
knew.
poisoning.
Yeah, he wasn't crucifixion. It was tetanus. But that was that. I think in the beginning when he's first talking to Indiana Jones about like what he was trying to do, why he was trying to do it, you kind of get a sense, or at least I did when I was as an adult, was like, this guy either he knows enough about history to know the financial value of having these objects, and that's it. And then he needed everybody else to do that. Because everything about him, he was in a tuxedo. His whole house was nice.
Everything about him, he was in a tuxedo.
That's it. He had shiny shoes. He was drinking champagne all the time, like
in the cave. He has like champagne.
So, and then at the end,
I love the technique that Indy uses to get when he like. I started doing that as a kid.
I do that too. Yeah.
But you need like that certain kind of that thinner paper.
That paper.
You can't use computer paper. But when he had like that, and he would like do it's an etching.
And then he would sketch over, like color over, so you get the.
Do you remember the name
stencil.
of the? You remember the name of the city?
Alexandretta?
There you go.
Yeah. I remember only because I was so bummed.
Do you remember what the current name of the city is?
Not Venice.
No. Iskenderun.
The
current city of Iskenderun is built on its ruins.
That's right. Okay.
That's the name of the city.
But
Alexandretta.
I won't forget the name of it because Sean Connery forgot, or he didn't know it, and then his son had to tell him.
Alexandretta.
That's right. So
I should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers.
No.
I got it. First of all, is that a reference like to the Marx Brothers? Like to the acting?
It could. It should have been. That's what I thought.
Or like, does he just know two guys and they're like Frank and Hank Marx?
So when I thought, for whatever reason, my connection was probably because I'm an idiot. When he said the Marx Brothers, I was thinking Marcus Brody, Marcus, and I was like, why would he mail it to Marcus Brody? That guy got lost in his own library.
But he did say I should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers.
Yeah,
Is that what he
I
said?
misread. I misheard.
But I was making sure I didn't mishear.
No, it was me.
He did say I
yeah, he
to the
did. Marx Brothers. My brain connected it to something way incorrect.
I love the non-German guys who have to play Nazis and they just do this overlay. You have the book in your book.
In your fuck.
Just like very. We have many tapestries.
Yeah, that guy.
If you are Scottish Lord, then I am Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, he's not German.
He's not German.
No.
How dare he?
Idiot with his giant nose. It was bigger than mine. That's when I looked at it, I was like, wow, this guy is varsity level schnoz. I'm just.
At Schnoz Presidente.
Yeah, he is. He was. El Schnozzidente. But, what the hell was I going to say? Oh, so at the end when he's drinking from the wrong chalice, I think it was a combination of his tertiary history knowledge and his...
Good word, by the way. Good word.
Thank you. And that's all I know. It's the only multi-syllable word I know. And his hubris and like cockiness and like he was so in the fog of it where he was like, oh, of course he would drink from this. This is beautiful. Why wouldn't he? Because that's what he liked too. Yeah. And Elsa knew... Because she was smart.
Yeah,
she was a Nazi, but she was smart. She's like, see ya, dude.
She was also an opportunist.
She was too.
So as soon as she saw
that's why she slept with all the Joneses.
Yeah, all the Jones boys.
Yeah.
Germany's declared war on the Jones boys.
She's like, been there, done that.
Let's just say it wasn't a war.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Sala?
Sala. So, real quick before, because I don't know how long we've been going.
We've been going on for a while.
Yeah. So. I had this conversation with my good brother in arms, Mike Greer, a.k.a. Steve McStiff.
Everyone's got nicknames.
He's out there doing God's work right now, so stay safe out there.
Traveling preacher?
Yeah. We had this conversation many times at what we called the cheese pit in South Dakota, where the tobacco alley where we would throw dips in cheese. I'll tell the story of cheese later on, but... Sala is probably like the quintessential like loyal friend that you want in real life.
Yeah.
Everything about him in every movie, every scene that he's in, he is loyal to a fault. Everything is well intentioned, even when he gets the camels and not the horses or whatever.
when he hides Marcus Brody in the Nazi
Nazi truck. He's trying to save his friend, and he's like,
papers, please.
Run! So, brothers. Everything about him in every movie, it's you listen to him and you're like, man, I want that guy as a friend. And at the end of Raiders, where he gets him onto that ship and they hug it out, it's like what a good friend.
I am the monarch of the sea.
And he's so happy to be
helping them.
Meanwhile, he's been put at risk several times by Indiana Jones. His whole family, his brother.
And he has one of the best lines in Raiders.
Which one?
Bad date.
That's right. From the date tree that your friend was
from the brood tree.
The brood tree. Yeah, idiot.
And then also in Last Crusade, again, like you said, tries to protect Marcus Brody, helps him out. That he's when Sean Connery gets wounded, he's there, and he's a ride or die. He doesn't even really know the father yet.
Not yet.
He has no reason to know him, but he's there and he's like helping him, and he's like putting his head up, and he's like, "Indy, hurry!" Like,
doesn't he say something like, "The brother of my brother is also my brother"? I don't think he says that, but I think that's his mantra.
The brother of my brother is my brother.
Yeah, it's just
which kind of just makes sense logically.
Logically, yeah. Well, just right. It's like he's just stating facts. Yeah. But his whole mindset is just that blind loyalty that we could go back to episode 3, blind loyalty. And that's why I think I like Sal so much, because that kind of hits home for me. And again, I talked to McStiff about this. We talk about it for hours, and we always go back to, like, in real life, like, man, he was a little kind of a dope a bit sometimes.
Yeah, Marcus Brody was too.
Brody was. He was book smart, but not socially smart.
But they made him really stupid. Not really stupid, like really clueless in Last Crusade, where like he didn't seem like that at all in Raiders. He seemed like a very smart.
I think they were just playing to that for.
They wanted a little comedic effect. Yeah. Because don't forget, there was really no comedy in Raiders.
No.
Think of it like there's not really a comedic relief.
Maybe Milkface at the end,
or the monkey that dies from the
bad date. Yeah, maybe that's it. I think Milkface was the funniest. Where
we found
the guy,
humor, we found humor when they were shoveling what they were saying.
The hiney. Yeah, I don't know what they were really saying, but
it was probably some very deep meaning.
Yeah, just like Kali Ma. I don't know what they were really saying, but we figured it out. We got it. We nailed it. But Sala, we actually had conversations where it was like, man, I want a friend like in real life. I want someone who understands me and knows that, like, if I trust a guy, he can trust him too, and it's not so much blind. It's just how you are with good friends, and you're loyal to a fault, and you're always there to be be that backstop.
Where is Sala from? I'm not trying to get into like an ethnic thing, but like I thought he was originally
Arabia.
From Egypt, because he helps out Indiana Jones in Egypt in the first one, so you would assume like, oh, you have to go to Egypt. Sala's just there with his family, so he's from Egypt. But then he calls him for when they're in Jordan. Like, oh, does he just travel around like to whenever Indiana Jones needs him?
He's got a beeper.
Or back then, like it was a traveling pigeon or whatever, like
something.
Some kind of what's it called? Like a male. What's the bird? When you send a message to a bird.
A carrier pigeon.
Carrier pigeon.
Yeah.
That he says, need you in Jordan by tomorrow.
By tomorrow, yeah.
He just gets a bunch of camels.
Yeah, he sends him the message like 4 months in advance. Need you by tomorrow. He just knew when tomorrow was going to be. But that was a thing. Was like, you didn't really need to dig deeper. Like, man, where does he actually live? How did he get here? It was just like, of course Sala's here.
Yeah,
like,
he's always there.
And of course he knows.
Except for in India in the last movie, when he could have used his help, he wasn't there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But
well,
I guess maybe they weren't friends then yet.
Maybe not. Yeah, it's the timeline situation there too.
We'll
never know now.
We'll never know.
But even the fact that he just happens to know this like Somali pirate ship captain or whatever he was, Haitian.
I have a guy for it.
I know a guy is like, God, I know. Of course, you have a guy.
He's like the Bruce Campbell in Bird Notice. He always has a guy. Like, I got a guy for that. Oh yeah, I have camels. Like I know a guy.
I know a guy. And he's like, I want horses. And he's like, oh, I know a camel guy who knows a horse guy. Like,
third degree of separation.
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's like
end of the day,
I'll get horses. I'll eventually get you horses. It might not be timely.
I might have to do a few trades.
Yeah, it might be.
He can give me camels, but then he can give me donkeys. Just give me by the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's why.
Business.
That's why when Indy yelled, I said no camels, and he's just like, I know. Like, I'm not. These are not for you. These are for the
brother's-
barter
yeah,
system.
My brother's car got blown up. Had I have to now give him these camels to make up for the fact that his beautiful
He's just like
1928 Ford.
Indy, just let me do my job as best friend, and you go do your job
Go
as
save your dad. I'll worry about the logistics.
the logistics. I'll take care of. I'm always here, am I?
I've gotten you on the sea. I've gotten you a car.
I found you the
boats.
ark.
Yeah.
Like I helped you dig for the ark. Like
I've always been there, pal.
just listen to me. I got it. You said horses. I'm gonna get you horses. And he did.
And then they all four of them at the end of the movie ride off together
On the horses.
Where? Like where are they going?
They gotta go to the airport.
are they just gonna like, oh, we're just leaving, we're gonna go split up and do, or like are they starting a new adventure? The four, let's go find something else.
That could have been like a secret thing that Spielberg was like, are we going to start an adventure?
The next movie just starts off like they're still like dirty on the horses, but
Yeah.
then they fall into another adventure.
Well, Marcus Brody probably fell off the horse a couple times, so he's dirtier.
He's dead.
Because of that. Yeah. What I really think is that just like how Sala just shows up in and out, and there's no backstory to how he got there, they're just gonna follow him. Like they're like, obviously he knows the way out of here,
Right.
back home. We'll just go, and then cutscene, the end, done. And that was it. And it was just like accepted. Like we knew, oh, they're following Sala. Got it.
They're gonna end up in the right place.
Yeah. Meanwhile, another reason why he's best friend material is he has no problem. Like Indiana Jones is like a renowned guy. Everybody knew him. All his college students wanted to bork him.
Yeah, they're always like the lady with the eyelashes. She
Oh
wrote,
my
like,
god!
I love you on
yeah,
her eyelashes.
like just wild women.
She was aching for it.
She really was. She wanted some ripping and tearing, no doubt.
She wanted to go Han Solo.
She did. But probably on Sean Connery too, because they're Eskimo brothers now. But he was well known, and even the top men in the DoD knew him in Raiders.
Who?
The top men. Go watch Raiders. You'll know what I'm talking about, idiots. So the fact that he was well known, but Sala still had no problem dogging on him about his nickname, which you don't find out until the end of Last Crusade, that Indiana Jones, Indiana, was the name of the dog that they had as a kid.
Because his real name was Henry Jones Jr.
And then Sala just, instead of being like, oh, it's okay, I'll still call you Indy, he just goes, you were named after the dog? Incredible.
All right. I'm going to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like, that's a best friend. That's what you want. You don't want some guy blowing smoke up your ass constantly and just being that ass-kissing yes man. You want a guy to knock you down a peg, a Don Del Pia, if you will.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have that much time left because you have to get going soon.
Yeah, we got to get going.
But we should do. There was a whole thing about like all the death scenes are really, all the end of movie death scenes are great between Raiders when they melt.
We could get down in the weeds on rating best death scene, best anything.
Yeah.
Pulling hearts.
I think best deaths is Raiders, Last Crusade, Temple, because the Temple one's cool to get to the alligators, get him at the end.
That's good. Yeah.
Him shrinking to a skeleton is very good, but then
in Last Crusade,
the melting,
the arc melting, and Milkface, also incredible death.
And like the eyes just like
the eyes fall, and everybody knows it as Milkface.
Yeah.
I talked to McStiff. We're talking about it again, and as soon as we started talking about it, he's like, "Oh yeah, Milkface!" Like that was the thing, because it looked like whole milk, which is wild. Because why wouldn't it just be blood only? It started as blood, and then Milkface. Like
the membranes, I guess, melted off.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I guess the arc really has that sort of power that it can just produce milk not from a teat. But anyway, let's wrap it up. Yeah, I gotta get going. Thanks again for being on the show, but also letting me hosting at the studio. Thanks to Pistol in the background off mic today for the incredible setup and the technology. I want to steal this mic. I can't tell you how much I love this setup.
Probably could have.
Here.
He wouldn't have even known.
He would have known. He would have been like, yeah, okay, because I'm way more successful than you. I can just get another one where you, Libretti, will have to pedal for it.
When a pauper steals bread from me, I'm not going to call the gendarmes on him. I'm just going to go buy more bread for
because
myself,
I
can buy more bread.
Yeah, so I'm
not going to lay Miz this guy.
Let's just consider this bread, and I'm going to steal your bread, and you can just go buy more bread.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
right,
but to me, it's a smorgasbord.
Fair.
Yeah. Charlotte's Web reference. Nobody gets it. They're a bunch of idiots.
A bunch of morons.
2 people listen anyway. So thanks again. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget, check all my shit out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Libretti Podcast Diary Show on all of those. Comment, rate, review, like, dislike, whatever. Just click on the stuff, create an interaction, because I respond to everything as much as I can. I love all that interaction. Type in some reviews on the Apple Podcast. I read all those. They're really funny. You can make up your own names on there too. So it's good to kind of guess who is commenting and leaving a review.
And I would ask them, leave recommendation. Like, what movies do you like? What famous movies should me and John like the next time you're here?
Yeah, I want people will send texts and stuff. I want people to put in the comments so everyone can chime in. Like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Do it this way and that way. Like, we'll I'm not always gonna go with the ideas. I might massage them, so to speak, and make them something a little bit different. But it sparks the brain a little bit.
It's also fun interaction with your
It's
fans.
great. And I love doing that, and that's kind of what I live for lately. Is like the back and forth, the shit talking, the feedback, the emails I get, the haters coming in hot, the Don Delpias of the world, the Terrences telling me that I need to keep it more family friendly, all that good shit. So keep that stuff up. Go follow the Instagram page at LPD_show. That's where I post the treasure hunts, the poll questions, any sort of thing related, any content related to the show, screenshots, old clips, whatever. It's on there. All the comments are great on there. You can kind of get away with a lot in the comments section anyway, because I'm not certainly going to report you like a beta bitch boy. So keep those going. And then if you follow my Facebook, it's on there too. I don't have a Facebook page yet, but one day I'll get one for the show. And then start submitting, like commenting on stuff with maybe potential merchandise ideas, like shirt ideas or stickers or anything like that, patches or whatever. I'm trying to work through that. It's been kind of slow rolling with work, is kind of busy lately, but I want to get some cheap things out there, maybe some stickers, like some zaps or patches to give out to treasure hunt winners instead of just these bullshit shout outs that I've been given, because those don't do anything for them. But maybe a cool patch they can go wear it on their backpacks or how you doing. So give us give ideas for that. But thanks again, Nick.
Of course.
Thanks again, Pistol, for the studio setup, and thank you guys for listening. Love you guys, and stay strong.
And I was talking to your mom.